And it's not what some might think. She's been looking at all sorts of things associated with smoking. Well, we'll have an interview with her very shortly.
And speaking of cigarettes, the man who could have been tonight. While she's here, she's also promoting her latest album, which revolves around the world of smoking. Richard Wilkins met Katie Lang yesterday.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker, baby. I get my loving on the run.
Katie, welcome back to Australia.
Thank you.
Where did the idea for this album come from?
Wherever ideas come from. Really, it just came from listening to records and Peggy Lee's Don't Smoke in Bed and Les Paul and Mary Ford's Smoke Rings, and I thought, cigarette songs. And I've recorded a couple cigarette songs before, and, you know, I thought about it a lot before I did it. I obviously knew that it was a controversial subject, but I felt very inspired by it, and very inspired by the fact that it's very topical right now on the consciousness of everyone's minds. And after careful deliberation and approach, I went ahead and did it.
The poor tobacco companies, they must be saying, God, just when we decide to pay billions of dollars in compensation, Katie Lang comes along and supports our cause, maybe.
Oh, definitely not. Well, it depends on, I guess, who's viewing it. It's definitely a neutral album. It's not pro or con. And as I said, I took great pains at making sure that it wasn't. To me, it's more of a sort of a musical documentary on what's happening in the history of cigarettes and how they've been in art and in life, a symbol. But what I found interesting was how the perspective shifted, because the songs that are recorded from 1935 to 1997, so the perspectives towards smoking shifted drastically throughout the history of the songs, from the gamut from very glamorous and sophisticated in the 30s to the Antichrist in the 90s. So
Have we gone too far to one side?
I'm not going to say we've gone too far, because certainly the consequences of long-term cigarette smoking are obviously
Not good.
not good. But I think that, to me, what I found humorous about this study, or this sort of art that I was doing with it, is that there are so many things out there that are fatal. Sex is one of them. Something as normal and as fundamental as sex. You know, a lot of my contemporaries in the music business are dying of heroin. It just, the cigarette, so much attention and so much time and energy spent on the smoke, against the smoker, when the education towards the sort of the preservation of the self, of the you know, your individual body, seems to be more appropriate, I think.
You always seem to be changing and looking for new challenges. Is this project part of that process?
Well, it's definitely a part of maintaining inspiration and creativity, yeah. It's, you know, it's about making art, really.
Don't worry, baby, please don't worry, 'cause I'm right here at home.
Katie Lang, great voice. Hollywood, of course.